Hey guys, what's going on? This is Nindalin, and we're doing some Twilight Princess Any Percent today. So I just want to show you guys this run. This one is really cool. I really enjoy it. This is like my main speed game. It's a little over 3 hours, but I'll just take you guys through some of the tricks and glitches that we do for this game. So we'll just start the timer there. We usually start the timer after the last text box there. So right off the bat, we actually do have quite a big glitch here. It's like a sequence break. It's called Back in Time. So we're just going to go through the gate, and then what we want to do is we want to reset on the exact same frame that we jump off the bridge. And this is going to put Link on the title screen, and it's going to do something called Back in Time. So you have to essentially get on the title screen and then save warp on the title screen. And that's going to give Link the Orden Sword and the Hylian Shield. And it's also going to give you Epona Tamed, which is really useful. It's actually called Back in Time. Oh, also, that was a very good gate clip. But it's called Back in Time because somebody actually did this when they were further into the game. They discovered it when they were further into the game, and it actually put them back in progress because it tricks the game into thinking that you're in a certain point of time, but you don't quite have the Master Sword, but you have the Ordnance Sword. So it's going to obviously put us ahead because we just started the game. So there we go. So we just save warp. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go get Tucticoro to get the lantern. So we just load back in. It just takes us a little minute here. But we're going to get the lantern, and we need the lantern for quite a bit in this game. We're going to need it right away to get rid of the cobwebs in the cave, and also to kind of see in the cave, because I don't know, my capture card is really bad, so I can't really see in the cave that well. So I usually use the lantern for the cave. Not everyone does that. And also for there's a couple lantern puzzles you actually do have to complete in the speedrun. So it's a pretty important tool. Not as important as the boomerang. We'll get into the boomerang later on after we get the Master Sword. And that Baba was not nice to me. Sometimes that Baba will hit you. So we'll just put the lantern on, that way you guys can see as well, and this cave is so dark. And as you notice, I'm rolling a lot. The rolls actually is a lot faster than just running normally as Human Link. Wolf Link is obviously faster than Human Link, but if you do frame perfect rolls, you will have the fastest movement. I believe it's like speed 6 or something like that Link goes at when you're doing frame perfect rolls. And you'll know that I'm doing frame perfect rolls if the lantern does not light up at the top right there. If it stays dim, you know that you're doing frame perfect. And oh my gosh, the Babas are just not nice to me right now at all. Okay, so we're just gonna go into this cave and get the small key. We're gonna need that to get into this little gate up ahead. Unfortunately, you cannot, clip into there unless you do a rupee slide, but that takes forever. We usually don't do rupee slides unless you're doing low percent. So here we go. We're gonna go to the small gate. We're essentially just on our way to save Tallow. She's stuck in a cage at the beginning of the game because the Bokos kidnap her with the monkey. So we're gonna go save her, and then we're gonna go into a sequence of the goats where I want to say Ferris, but I don't think his name is Ferris. The goat guy, basically wants you to herd in 20 goats for him. Usually you have to do a bunch more Orden mini games. You have to do like 10 goats first, and then you have to, get the cradle for the pregnant lady and all that kind of stuff. But luckily we can skip all that with Back in Time. So we just need to do 20 goats and save Tallow. And these guys, you do have to kill these guys first before you can save her. So we just do like a couple slashes and a jump spin attack. So yeah, and she's all happy with our favorite monkey. I think the Forest Temple is honestly my favorite dungeon just because of that monkey. She's so cute. And we cannot skip. We're gonna do some text mashing here just to get through this dialogue a little bit faster. We do that a lot throughout the game. There's a lot of like text mashing and then also skipping of cutscenes. There are quite a few cutscenes, luckily, that you can skip in Twilight Princess, which is different, a bit different from other 3D Zelda games because there's a lot more downtime in other 3D Zeldas like Ocarina of Time and MM. And our favorite girl, Epona. Unfortunately, Epona's not going to appear very much in the speedrun. It's just like here for goats, and then for the end of the game when you do horseback with Ganon. I go left side goats for this, and you just have to whip them at a certain point in time just to get them to go near the barn door. Luckily they're, oh gosh. I was gonna say they're lined up pretty good, but we're in a bit of a mess here. That's okay. No, that, did you see that goat? He was in the barn door and then he ran out. Oh, they're not really cooperating very good for me, but that's fine. Oh my goodness. We call them Howards when they don't, like, listen to you. They're all being Howards right now. Oh my goodness, this is terrible, goats. That's fine. Okay, yeah, in retrospect, you want to at least have, like, a 30-second goats, not a minute, but... but we've all, it's fine. I still don't know that guy's name. I feel like he's, like, Fyrus. No, I'm thinking of Fire at the cannon, but I don't know his name. We'll have to look it up after. So now this is a very RNG component coming up. We have to go into Bo's house, Mayor Bo, and we're gonna have to wrestle him for the iron boots. And actually, you have this available to you because of Back in Time, because you have the opponent tamed flag. So instead of Bo just being like beginner Bo, I guess, when he's like giving you things to do around the village, instead he's like, okay, no, it's time now for Link to get the iron boots. But unfortunately, his wrestling match is so RNG based because you might not get him right off the bat, like a one cycle, he might hit you or grab you and then you have to sit there with him for, you know, like seconds, minutes on end, depending on how nice he is, or mean. You can say no to this and then you can skip this as well. So I'm just going to start off by slapping him. Slapping him is usually the best RNG method for the first phase. Hopefully he's nice. He's pretty nice there. I'm not very good at mashing, so I had to 2-cycle him. But you can 1-cycle him if he's nice. And there are 2 cycles to this. So the second one is you want to just grab him. It's most likely that you'll get him if you grab, but sometimes you just get unlucky. Yeah, like that. See, that's an unlucky cycle. And then you mash. Okay, he was actually pretty nice to me, I'm not gonna lie. The only reason I'm losing time is because I did so bad on my goats. But it's all good. And then we're gonna grab the iron boots. These are super useful. You're gonna need them for a lot, especially in this route because I do something called pillar clip. So I need the boots to go down into the water, but I'll show you guys that later on. So now we're gonna come out here and we're actually gonna save the game. Not because we're scared of losing progress, but because we do need this for something called Back in Time Equipped, which is very, very similar to Back in Time. But the only difference is you're actually going to go into the KB1 fight. If anyone remembers King Bulblin from this game, you have to fight him around 4 times in the casual game. In this speed run, we encounter him briefly in the KB1 fights, and then we also encounter him in KB3 and KB4, which is the last fight in Hyrule Castle. But essentially, you do need that flag, or Bo's house, to load into the KB1 fights. It's just all to do with the boss flags, essentially. But I'll show you guys that as well. So now we're going to go into the sewers. This is the Wolf Link tutorial. So we just have to go through here and it's going to show us some things and how to play as Wolf Link. You can do a box break here to save a few frames. We're going to try it out. We just have to do 8 pulls with the chain. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if that works. It did not. Okay, well that's embarrassing. But it really does not save that much time. Essentially, you can just break it in the cutscene without having to break it right there. And now we're in the sewers. So we just have to pull a few chains in here. Whoops. We just essentially want to go as fast as we can, basically, with pulling the chains and trying to get to Zelda as fast as we can. And some spirits are going to talk to us, and Minna's going to yap about how we can use our senses, but we don't want to listen to all that. We're trying to go fast. Okay, so this is our first chain. We got to pull it to adjust the water levels. And that's going to get us over the spikes on the other side. You can also do something called dash canceling in this segment, well, in all the segments in the speedrun, where you can kind of neutral B like this, and then you get the option to dash right away. That way you're not kind of waiting around to dash all the time. And we lower it back down, so we can go into... And Minna's gonna leave us here. Whoops! I was trying to skip that, but I did it a little too early. Yeah, so you can get in here, and then we're gonna go climb up the stairs to go see Zelda. She's gonna yap again. So what I did there was a Minna text skip, because once you get to the top, you can just go ahead and use the Minna jump. Usually if you jump too far to the right and hit the water, she will give you a text box there and be like, oh, what are you doing? But it just saves a little bit of time to skip that text message, and then you can just go back up and Minna jump. So here we go, we're at the top. We're just gonna get on here and then Minna jump to the top. And there is a one framer you can get up here if you just mash. Yeah, just like that, because if you don't get it like that, she will talk to you and it actually does lose quite a bit of time. And more spirits. Okay. And Zelda's just on the other side of this roof. So we just have to go through here. You can get one framers that will just allow Minna to have you jump right away without the animation of her flying to the area she's going. It is just a little bit RNG based though. And of course we're not actually going to talk to Zelda because that loses time. Okay, and we're just going to skip that as well. Now we're coming up to a trick called Sword and Shield Skip. So you'll see I do have the Sword and Shield already on my back, but the game doesn't register it that way. So they're still saying to me, you need to go to Orden and you need to collect the Sword and Shield, the Orden Sword and the Wooden Shield. But we actually do not need to do that. We can save a lot of time by using our Bulblin named Hugo to jump over the trigger where Minna, essentially if you just walk to this area without Hugo and went right into it, Minna would say, no, turn back, you don't have the Sword and Shield yet. But I can actually use this enemy to jump over that trigger. So it's actually very interesting. It is a little bit precise though, and if you... Oh, see, yep, there's the trigger. If you kill Hugo before getting over the trigger, you have to jump off the bridge and reload him. So you lose at least a minute if you fail this trick, which I did not fail it, so that's good. And just like that, we are going into the next segment of Twilight. Oh, I forgot to split that. Oops. So this is where we're gonna learn or get the tutorial for the Shadow Beast fights. So Minna's gonna leave us on our own, thinking that we can do it on our own, but we actually need her. So we're gonna lose the fight and then run back to get her for her tutorial of Minna attacks. Let's get a little cut. This one you can't skip, unfortunately. You do have to watch this cutscene. And she's gonna say goodbye. And then I'm just gonna run into her direction, because I'm gonna need to go back there to get her anyways. The Shadow Beasts are so loud when they scream. I just remember practicing this game, and every time I would fail a trick or a Shadow Beast fight, it would just be so loud in my house, just the Shadow Beast yelling. My family had to listen to that I don't know how many times when I was practicing this game. But just like that, we have the Shadow Beasts killed. We're gonna skip this cutscene with the spirit. We don't need to do anything with the spirit or the vessel because we just don't need to get the bugs in Farron. We can actually use the boomerang to escape Farron, that's why we don't need the bugs. But I'll show you guys that one once we get the boomerang. You can essentially do an ultra jump with the boomerang. If you have it over a void or like a higher position, you can throw it and Link will jump super, super far. So now we're gonna be getting the Master Sword early. This is a really nice feature or sequence break that you get the Master Sword like 20 minutes into the run. We're gonna do something called EMS, Early Master Sword, with our boy named Jamal, a Shadow Beast. And we're going to Minna charge with a Shadow Beast up to a ledge. And this ledge is actually going to lead us right into Sacred Grove. So we can start that sequence way early, because usually you would have to do that after beating the Water Temple, which is 3 dungeons in. So you can just do it super early. And I'll show you guys this. Again, we don't need those bugs. We can just leave them. So it's just right in here. We're gonna skip yet again another cutscene. Okay, we gotta keep this guy kind of close to the wall. And just like that, we're up on the ledge. You do have to jump kind of precise there, just to make sure you do get on the Sacred Grove ledge. And then we gotta howl to start the Skull Kid fight. So we're gonna howl here. We got it. Skull Kid is pretty easy. There's just a few locations he'll be at, and then you have to hit him just one time. And you're gonna get his running away animation each time. And after you're done hitting him the 3 times, you're gonna have a kind of like a boss fight with him, where he'll play his trumpet and you have to hit him when he's playing. And after you're all done that, you're gonna be able to go to the Master Sword puzzle and get the Master Sword fairly early on in the game. But that's really useful because not only does the Master Sword do like 4 times more damage than the Ordnance Sword, it allows you to switch easily between Wolf Link and Human Link. Whoops. So you can have Wolf Link's fast movement throughout the speedrun, and you can also switch into human or wolf depending on what you need for whatever segment you're in. Like you're able to use your items as human. And that's especially useful in a Twilight because, you know, you would usually be wolf in Twilight, so you couldn't use things such as the boomerang. for the long jump attack, but luckily with the Master Sword you can do that easily. And we're just going to try to avoid the puppets. The puppets do a half heart of damage, so you want to make sure you're not constantly getting hit by them. You only have 3 hearts, so we're going to have 3 hearts, I think, until we kill Morpheal. And that's when we get our 4th. And then we'll have around 5, I believe, by the time we get into Palace. Yeah, because you only get hearts from killing Morpheal and then Argarok, which is in City. So it's, yeah, you're pretty low hearts throughout most of the speedrun. Okay, and then that was our 3rd one, so now we're going to run into the Skull Kid boss fight. And then you just skip the cutscene again. And notice how he's blowing his trumpet. You have to hit him as he's blowing the trumpet. If you're too slow, he's going to he's going to teleport to another rock. And it just loses time. It also makes it a little bit more difficult to hit him. And as you see, I only killed a couple puppets there. You only need to kill 1, and then that will start his countdown for when he's gonna blow his trumpet again. And then we just need to do that one more time, and we'll be in the Master Sword puzzle. Okay, so then we're gonna kill our hopefully 1 puppets. No, I killed a bunch, but that's fine. It is a little bit slower to kill like a bunch of puppets just because it lags. You want to just try to kill like 1 or 2. And then he leaves us. We actually don't need to kill, because usually you kill Skull Kid twice in a casual run or casual playthrough. But we only need to kill him once for the Master Sword. We don't need to come back when we're later in the game. Because usually that would be to get the Temple of Time, and we just don't need to do that. And then this time it's going to show us the solution. And luckily we also know the solution to the Master Sword puzzle, so it's not going to take us forever. It's essentially just one big rectangle. And you notice how my senses are going on and off here. If you hit your senses within a 1 frame time period, it will kick your senses on and then back off because it will get super confused. It's kind of just like a fun little Easter egg. And just like that, we have both our statues on their designated spots. So we can skip that and go right to the Master Sword. Just be careful not to overshoot it. And this is a cutscene we actually can't skip. It's one of the longest in the game, other than Squidna at the end of the game. But it is an awesome cutscene. We love to watch it. It's very iconic. Every Master Sword scene in Zelda games are iconic. And Midna she yaps like throughout the whole speedrun. She's gonna yap to us again about how we have to kill Zant and all this stuff with the sword. The Master Sword is also really nice because you can 1-cycle bosses that you usually would fight with the Orden Sword. Like Morpheal, you can kill... What is Morpheal? Morpheal's like 3-cycle instead of like 5. And then Ook you can 1-cycle. You just need to do a spin attack and a slash and he's dead. So yeah, Master Sword early, very, very useful. And that thing lets you turn into wolf and human that she's holding in her hand. And essentially she's telling us that it'll be useful to transform. She's gonna keep it for us. Yeah, she yaps a lot. I think a couple more text boxes and then we will be on our way to get the boomerang. And I'll show you guys how to 1-cycle Ook. Okay. So we just have one warp portal open, and that's where we're going, to South Farron. We're gonna go to South Farron to North Farron to get the boomerang. But luckily you don't need to do all of the Forest Temple to get the boomerang, you just have to do... Well, we're gonna do the Back in Time equip to get our boss flags, because that will give us enough monkeys to get over to Ook, and it'll also open up some opportunities later on in the run as well with Lakebed. It's gonna give us Deku Toad early, and that's the mini boss in Lakebed that gives you the claw shot. And we're just going to take our little shortcut here as well. There is a 1-frame opportunity to dash once you get out of the hole here. Let's see if we can get it. No, we didn't. But it skips the animation of Minute landing on his back. Another big use for the lantern here is getting through this fog. So I'll show you guys. You just have to swing the lantern a few times to be able to get through here without voiding. Because if I just stood here, or if I moved without swinging the lantern every so often, I would void out, and I would have to go back to the other side of the fog. Okay, this time we actually are going to kill the Shadow Beasts. We're not going to manipulate them for our own gain, we're just going to kill them and get the warp portal open. Only because it's essentially impossible, or only task only, to minute jump over that barrier. You kind of have to kill them. Okay, so now we're going up to the Back in Time equipped. There is a way to find a void in the wall. You just need to kind of angle yourself a certain way, which I'll show you. And then you can jump into the void while also resetting at the same time. And that's going to give us the Back in Time that we talked about before on the bridge. I think that's good, yeah. So just like that, we voided out and we reset, and now we're going to end up on the title screen. This time I'm going to jump and hit start at a specific time, and you're going to hear him scream in the credits, and then I'm going to load the bow cutscene. This is going to put us into the KB1 fight that I was talking about earlier, but we're just going to reset and skip at the same time. What that did was give us our boss flags. So that's going to give us enough monkeys to get to Ook, and it's also going to give us that toad I was talking about. Those are two very important aspects of the run, because it's just going to let us get those items early on without having to do too much in the dungeons. What it also does is it allows us to get into Lakebed without using the water tunnel. Oh my goodness. Yeah, those spiders are kind of a pain, but it's okay. What was supposed to happen was I was supposed to kill the one spider closest to me with the nut. But we have another nut over here. We just need to make sure that other spider's gonna let us through. Let's see if she'll let us through. Yeah, this girl right here is called Nancy, and she is not very nice. It's okay, we'll just let her turn around. Yep, and then we're good to go. Maybe, hopefully. Yep, we're good. That was my mistake. Okay, so there's another lantern puzzle here. There's one here and then one in Hyrule that you have to use with the lantern. So we're just gonna get all these guys lit. You can just ignore that spider. She's not gonna hurt anybody. Well, she's not gonna hurt us because we're going too fast for her to worry about us. And notice how I have all those monkeys? That's because of the Back in Time equip that I did on the bridge. Fun fact, if you void on the monkey chain, it's null and voids the boss flag, so you want to make sure you're really careful on that bridge, making sure you're not gonna fall. If you fail it, you can just redo back in time equip though, so it's not the biggest deal. And then now we're going into Ook, we're gonna get our boomerang. Ook is a bit of an RNG thing as well because sometimes he can do like, he can technically do infinite hops here on the totem poles. Luckily we did get a 2-hop, which is the best RNG case. And then you can just one-cycle him with a spin attack and a slash. And this cutscene is unskippable, so we have to wait around 40-45 seconds to get the boomerang. But it's not too bad. And he's looking around, he has the parasite off, he's actually a monkey again, which is great. He's gonna help us, well he would help us in Diababa, but we were not gonna do that in this run. Diababa is the final boss in Forest Temple. And just like that we have the boomerang. This is a huge item in GameCube any percent at least, because it's going to let us do our long jump attacks. I say GameCube because it doesn't actually work in HD or Wii. The LJAs, well, we call it LJA for short, but it's a long jump attack. Okay, so we're just going to load our normal save. Save file 3 is going to be all our normal stuff, our normal progress, and the other two are just early game. You only need Bo's House. If you load Bo's House without doing, if you're not doing back in time and you load Bo's House, you crash the game. So you definitely don't want to load that one. And we're going to go back to South Fair and we're going to do something called Forest Escape now that I was talking about with the long jump attack. Now that we have our boomerang. You essentially just want to line yourself up enough with the outdoor gate that you're gonna jump over Minna's text, because she always... What happens with this game is if you are trying to go somewhere where you're not supposed to go yet, Minna will tell you something. She'll be like, you can't go here yet because you need to do XYZ. In this case, she's gonna be like, no, you need to go clear the Twilight and you need to go to the Forest Temple. But luckily we can just skip over that with a nice big jump and we don't need to worry about it. So let's line ourselves up. And just like that, we are out. So the next order of business is we're essentially trying to get ourselves the claw shot, and we're also trying to get to the Elden Twilight, because we need to clear... We actually need to clear the Elden and the Linear Twilight to progress the game, not so much the Farron, because we can avoid that. And we're gonna get our favorite mailman here. An absolute icon of the game. But in order to get to Elden, we're going to need to make some pit stops. And the first kind of barrier we're going to have is actually the Gorge Bridge. I don't know what it's called, like Gorge... Yeah, I think it's called the Gorge Bridge coming up here. Minna essentially is going to want you to warp the bridge in from another area, from like North Farron, to be able to cross into Kakariko Village. But we don't want to do that because that's slow. So we're going to do something called Rupee Roll to jump over the gap. The only issue is there's a cutscene that happens. Once you kill the Shadow Beast, there's a cutscene that happens where she forces you to warp. So you can't stay in this area unless you do something called Gorge Void, where you can void out before that cutscene happens and stay in this area. But this is a very frame perfect trick, so if you fail it, you can't really, there's no way to redo it. You're just going to get forced out of the area, which loses you a minute. So we're going to see if we can get Gorge Void. If not, we will have to reroute the area and do Forest Escape once again, because it's going to force us back into Farron Twilight. So let's see if we get it. We did not get it. Yep, so I'll show you guys the reroute. It is frame perfect, so it is a bit tricky to get sometimes, like if you go too early or late. Yep, so she's gonna force us. She wants us to go to North Faron to warp the bridge, but we are just gonna go to South Faron, escape again, and we're gonna go straight to Lake Hylia this time to get our claw shot. It is faster to just go to Lake Hylia at this point because you'd have to leave to get the claw shot anyways after Rupee Roll, so you just want to get the claw shot first and then make your way around. Because we also need to open up the Zora Domain portal for later on when we do our Lineru Twilight. Because for Lineru Twilight you actually do have to warp something, and you have to warp in that hot boulder to unfreeze the area. Okay, so we're going to line ourselves up again. And then we're just going to jump over. And we're going to do something called Pillar Clip now. So when we get to Lake Hylia, we're going to use our iron boots to go down into the water. And you clip into a certain pillar down there that's going to allow you to go straight into the Lake Hylia load zone. Or not the Lake Hylia, the Lake Bed Temple load zone. And since we have our boss flags, we're actually able to save warp in that tunnel and go straight into the dungeon. Okay, so we're gonna have to clip into this gate. Gates are a suggestion in this game. You can just clip any gate that you want, basically. So we're just gonna hit these guys so they're out of our way. We're just gonna line up with this post. Ah! There we go, okay. And then clip right in. You want to make sure that heart is lined up pretty good with the post, otherwise it's a little bit inconsistent on the clip. And we need to be human, because we're going to do pillar clip, so we need to be human to use our boots. You can't use any items as Wolf. I just switched to the boots on X because it's just easier for me, because you need to do tap swimming, which is essentially taking the boots on and off very quick in order to make your way to the load zone. You have a very limited amount of time since you are on oxygen, and if you run out of oxygen underwater, you die. It's very slow. So I'm just lining myself up, but I can see that pillar down there that I want to clip into, which is right under me. I'm just going to tap swim a little bit closer to it. That's good. And then we gotta get right under it. I might have been too far in the pillar, actually. We're just gonna wait. We're gonna see if this works. Actually, this should work. Yeah, it's just gonna be kind of slow, but you can see him coming out with his shield. He's gonna pop up, and then we're gonna tap swim over to the load zone. This was very, very slow, but it's okay. At least we did not fail it, right? Okay, so we're gonna tap swim. And just like that, we're in the load zone. And then we're going to save warp right away. If we didn't have the boss flags, we wouldn't be able to save warp right into the dungeon. We would actually save warp and still be in the tunnel, which is very problematic because you don't have the Zora armor, you would drown in that tunnel. But luckily, because the game already thinks that we've been here, they're going to let us right in the dungeon entrance. Okay. So then we have something called Purple Friend here. This is our purple gooey man that's jumping with us. He's very happy that we're here. But we're gonna ignore him and go right into the dungeon here. Lakebed is actually a pretty big hub for the any percent because we need to come back here again to do Morpheal. We have to kill the boss and get the mini boss item. But right now we're just gonna go get the claw shot and then Uku out. But in order to Uku out, we also have to get Uku in this dungeon. Because he's gonna let us Uku out and then he's gonna let us Uku back in after when we have to fight Morpheal. But we're not gonna fight Morpheal until the middle of the run. So this is a little like introduction to the Lakebed temples. We're just gonna skip all that stuff And we have to move the staircase, not only to get the Uku, but also to do a boss key skip when we come back. We're gonna skip getting the boss key to Morpheal and just kind of clip ourselves in. But that'll be later on, I can show you guys that. Okay, so we're gonna go up and get Uku. I am gonna kill this Kekite up here just because sometimes he gets in the way when I do my Uku jump. And I'll show you guys that we're gonna Uku jump over the awning here in order to get to where the room for Deku Toad is. That way we just skip doing a lot in the dungeon. And we kind of just hold direction. We're gonna jump over here. We don't need anything in that chest. And then we're gonna do a couple more long jump attacks up here. Just since we don't have these platforms moving, we're gonna have to long jump attack to get enough distance. You just aim up over that awning and then you can do a couple jump attacks over there. And then in this room is our Deku Toad. You can one-cycle Deku Toad with some precise slashes. As long as you do it fast enough with the combo at the end, you can one-cycle him. That's another example of why it's good to have the Master Sword, because you fight this guy with your Ordnance Sword. That's why you're able to one-cycle with the Master Sword. It just does so much more damage. But the game doesn't think that you obviously have the Master Sword yet. Let me just do some quick spins. Quick spins are really useful in this game, just for killing enemies and bosses a lot faster. Oh, I actually messed up the the combo. I don't know how I ended up doing that, but it's okay. So that's why, like, if you mess up that, you're gonna have to fight him again. Usually you would have to 3-cycle him though, so I mean a 2-cycle is at least a little bit faster than a 3-cycle. Yeah, I did a 3-hit combo instead of a 4-hit. You do need a 4-hit combo with this guy and also with Beastkin, and at the end of the game they're pretty specific with what kind of combos you need. Okay, so we're gonna get our claw shots. And then we're just gonna warp out of here and then Uku right out. And this is when we're gonna go over to the Zora's Domain area. We do need to open that up for the Laner Twilight later on. But we're gonna have to make a little journey over there because we also need to do the Karg flight to get over. And we're gonna have to talk to Fire and stuff in Lake Hylia. So it does take a little bit to get over to Zora's Domain. We'll just have our friend here that's gonna take us in and out of Lake Bed. And now we just go as Wolf. We're gonna be Wolf for a lot of the speedrun just because he's a lot faster, especially in Twilight. He moves a lot faster. Because the game assumes that you're gonna be Wolf and they don't want you to, you know, take forever to get to place, so they let you have a little bit faster movement speed, and especially in big areas like Lake Hylia. Yeah, you have to talk to this guy to spawn in your Cargrock and Bulblin duo over there. We're gonna kill the Bulblin. Oops. But first we have to lure the Cargrock because he's gonna get on the Cargrock. Just skip that. I do run to this corner just to get the Cargrock to come to me a little bit faster. Her name is Catherine. Catherine is very annoying. And I'm just gonna stand here and I'm gonna do something called a Karg regrab. So I'm gonna wait for Catherine to get really close to me. Just wait a little bit, and then I'm gonna do a backflip and jump right again. And that's gonna allow me to re-grab her without waiting for her to fly all the way around again, which does take quite a bit of time. And just a minute charge will finish this guy off. Perfect, and then you wait for him to explode, and then we're gonna get the cutscene where Catherine is gonna take us to Zora's Domain. And this fight is pretty straightforward. You just have to make sure you know where the rocks are falling and things like that, just to make sure that you're not going to fall off your Cargarok. And these guys are going to try to shoot you down, but they're not really a threat at all, to be honest. I don't think I've ever been shot by them. It's mostly just the falling boulders you really have to watch out for. Like this one up ahead will fall on you. You just kind of have to duck underneath. You can also do something called Carg out of bounds, where you angle it just precisely to get out of the map, and you can fly out of bounds to the load zone, which saves about 8 seconds. It is just a little bit risky because if you don't time it right or you don't have the right angle, you can fall off your Cargarok, and there's either two options. You can fall right straight down and not die, and you can try again. It doesn't lose that much time, but you can also die, get a game over, and have to howl for the Cargarok again in Lake Hylia, and that loses you so much time, like at least 45 seconds to a minute. So I just go for the safer route and I just do the full flight. It's only 8 seconds, you know? It's not really a big deal for me. I actually almost like died at the top there. That would have been so embarrassing. And just like that, we're in Zora's Domain. Zelda, oh my gosh, I'm mixing up Zelda and Midna today. Midna is telling us to hurry up, and we are taking her to heart. We're gonna finish this very quickly. And as you see, Zora's Domain is all frozen over because of Ganon's antics. So that's why we have to warp over the hot boulder at a later date here, after we do Eldin. But we do need this portal to open up in order to send Midna the right direction with the hot boulder. And we just climb up here. Watch out for the icicles. There are a couple icicles that fall, so I'm just gonna wait, make sure that they fall first. If you try to jump before they fall, it will just hit you. It's not a good time. And this is our next Shadow Beast fight. All the Shadow Beast fights are puzzles. You just have to make sure you know which order to kill everybody in. So we're gonna do the guy isolated first. If you leave one, as you've seen before, if you leave one alive, it will scream and the rest will wake up again. So you have to make sure you kill them all at one time. Okay. So since we failed Gorge Void earlier, we're gonna have to do another trip to South Faron, just because we won't have Kakariko open yet. If I got Gorge Void and did Rupee Roll first, I would have been able to just go straight to Kakariko and start Eldin Twilight. But unfortunately, it did kick us out of that area, so we're gonna have to do this, escape it one more time, and then do Rupee Roll to get over the gorge without the bridge. But luckily it only loses about a minute to not get Gorge Void. It's not crazy the end of the world. Usually only top runners worry about not getting Gorge Void. Oops. So we'll line ourselves up. And then we're just gonna escape. So I have to do that 3 times instead of twice since I didn't get Gorge Void. And now we're gonna run over to the area again. Luckily I already triggered the mailman, so I'm not gonna get him again. You'll also notice that I'm using C down when I'm in big areas like this with Wolf, just because there's a lot of lag. It will reduce the amount of lag that you have if you just C down. You're gonna see me do that in Linear Twilight as well, and the desert, because there's a lot of lag there. Okay, we're not gonna get a big cutscene this time because we've already been in this area. We just want to avoid that sword, because if you smell that, it's gonna lose you like 30 seconds to a minute of just dialogue, cutscene stuff with the kids. So this is Rupee Roll. Essentially what we're doing is we're going to dig up this yellow rupee, and then we're going to very quickly get on this white dot on the ground, and we're going to long jump attack. This might be a little Monka S. Okay, we were fine. We're gonna roll off the fence. There, that happened very quick. It was just something I had to focus for a little bit. But you long jump attack onto the fence, and then you're able to just chill there for a minute because you have the text of the yellow rupee, and that's the only reason that you don't go immediately off the fence. And with that time, you're able to hold direction and do a little roll off the fence onto that ledge, and then you just jump, side hop off there and do another jump attack, and all of a sudden you are on the other side without needing the bridge, which is very helpful. I thought I maybe aimed a little bit low, because if you aim too low, you can't long jump attack onto the fence properly. And if you fail that, you only get 1 rupee, so you kind of have to basically save warp back and try it again. It loses about a minute. Luckily we got lucky. And another Shadow Beast fight. There's so many in this run. Okay. And that's gonna allow us to have the spirit come out to give us the vessel, and we do need to complete Elden Twilight now. Okay, so we're gonna get our vessel. You do want to be a little bit careful leaving that spirit, because sometimes if you dash too quickly, you'll talk to him again. And so it's like a little bit annoying. So we're gonna start within the graveyard. We're gonna get our graveyard bug, and then we're also gonna go into, we're gonna do something called well clip. And that well clip is gonna allow us to get into the basement without having the big cutscene with the family and the huts. Luckily, it's very easy. You just side hop over there. You're in the well. Skip a cutscene, and then we're going to do our basement bugs. There is a way to kill all 3 of these bugs at the same time. You just have to get lined up, target, and just like that, they're all dead. And then we can kind of try to collect all the tears at one time. And skip this. There is a lot to skip in Twilight Princess, but luckily you can skip it. You don't have to like sit through every single cutscene. And then we're gonna get our Malomart bug. This bug can be manipulated to come down very quickly if you just hit the side of the wall. And then you're gonna want to go into Senses right away and just spam L. And it'll come down very quickly. And you can just collect this tier. As soon as Wolfling turns blue, you're free to leave the area or warp. But you have to make sure that he turns blue. Like if you go before that, you're gonna not collect the tier, and you're gonna have to go back for it, which is very unfortunate. And we have the Elden. So we're gonna jump down here. We gotta light the fireplace to get our first bug. I do want to line up a little bit to get him to sit still so I can kill him. I'm gonna wait to get his tier because I'm coming back there anyways. Whoops. Oh my goodness. This guy doesn't want to die. Oh my god. No! Okay, there we go. So that was a little bit unfortunate. Usually you want to kill him right away. Sometimes the bugs can give you kind of a hard time with them flying in different patterns. And for leaving, give Wolflink a little bit of a concussion on the way out. And we're gonna go to the abandoned house now. Get the other bug. And as you notice, I'm not really collecting rupees. A lot of runners say do collect rupees in Elden Twilight, but I find that I prefer just to get the rupee from Fire at the cannon, and I can get 20 from him, so I don't really spend too much of my time collecting rupees at this point. Because you're going to get 200, you need at least 300 to repair the cannon, but you get 200 from Snow Peak, and then you get 60 to 80 in AG as well, so that combined with 20 in Fire is plenty to get the cannon going. I don't know why oh my goodness. Sorry guys. I don't know why I'm like messing this up. We're doing bomb house skip right now. So essentially I want to kill this guy coming into the bomb house. And that's just gonna allow me to not deal with the whole animation of this house blowing up. Because you turn around and it's gone. Whoops. Oh, I guess you didn't see it, but it's like blown up now. But casually, he'll go in the house before you can get to him. And then you'll have to burn the house down to get the bugs. But if you just kill him before he gets there, the game already thinks that you've done that whole cutscene. And you can just collect the tears and go. Ugh. That bug is very annoying, because when it's in that little corner, it's invincible, so you have to just sit there and wait for it to leave its little hidey hole. And now we're going to Death Mountain to get our last 3 bugs. Skip that. There is a way to fast climb up here if you go like enough to the left, which I didn't quite get it. But it skips the animation of climbing. You do like a quick climb. Up here, so our first bug in Death Mountain's right here. You can kind of stand on the edge, collect it, and then keep going just a little bit faster. You just have to be mindful of these geysers, make sure that you're not standing in the way of them. And this is another Shadow Beast fight down here. Another bit of a puzzle. You gotta kill this guy, and then get this guy that's isolated. And then these guys will come together. You have to get this. Is this our next bug? And since I did that quick enough, I was able to skip that cycle, because usually you'd have to wait for the geyser to finish spewing. But I got there just in time to not have to deal with that. I can just go right away. And this is our last bug. You want to try to avoid the enemies as much as possible here and just aim for getting this tier. And as soon as he's blue, you're all done. You can, and then you just skip this cutscene, and then you're gonna go right over to Death Mountain to get that hot boulder I was talking about for the Nehru Twilight. We actually have something called map warping now, because since we triggered that whole cutscene with Minna with the bridge and gorge, you actually get map warping because you're able to warp things now, like you're able to warp the bridge and the hot boulder. So instead of hitting, oh my goodness, I went the wrong way. Instead of hitting Z now every time to warp with Midna, you can just hit your D-pad and it's honestly a lot faster. And there's our boulder that I've been talking about like so long. We're gonna warp her to Zora's domain. Unfreeze the land. And skip. There is a one framer we can get here to side hop, and that does save us having to talk to Midna again. And I did not get. I'm not getting anything that I'm like describing. Okay, so we're gonna get our boots again. So you do have to go under that bridge. If you don't go under it like that, you're gonna trigger Rutella, and Rutella is like the queen or whatever, and she's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, save my son, please!" And it takes forever. It takes like a minute of dialogue. So you just want to go under the bridge each time to avoid her. We're gonna have to do that once or twice more as well to avoid her. And Rutella also gives you the Zora armor, but we're not gonna need that. There's a way to bypass that with water bombs for air, but we can talk about that later on as well. And we have our vessel. And again, we do need to do Eldin and Lanayru Twilight. There's no way around it. You have to get it done to advance the story, to get the certain flags that you need. I believe for Lanayru, it's because you need to enter the desert, and you need to have this place like Twilight free in order to talk to Aru and like fire and everything to head to the desert. And also just like for city and other dungeons you need to do. Okay, so this is another Shadow Beast fight. We do a lot of these like in the middle of the game. I believe the last one is after you're done Arbiter's Grounds in the mirror chamber, and that's when you fight 5 of them. Okay. Oh no, oh. Okay, well that was unfortunate. I was gonna say you do need those guys together, and I honestly thought I had them together enough, but I guess not, because I missed them. Okay, so that one worked. You do need them together enough, yeah, to get them obviously at the same time. Sometimes that fight can be a little bit tricky. And I'm just gonna C down again just to avoid lag. And we just do some precise jumps to get over here. And this is our last bug to get for now in Lake Hylia. We're gonna get this tier and then warp right to Zora's domain again. There's just certain routing you have to take for the bugs to be able to get everything in quick concession. Because you don't want to just be running over to random places and not having it all align. Okay, so this is our Zora domain bug. And we're just gonna Midna charge him. And this is when we do need to be human, because we're gonna do something called Waterfall Side Hop up ahead. And obviously skip Rutella again. But we have a few frame window here to side hop off instead of having to go down the waterfall again. And this is gonna get us right onto the ledge. Oh crap, oh my goodness. Okay, it's okay. If you fail it like that, you can just save warp and then you're gonna end up on the ledge anyways. But obviously side hopping onto the ledge is quite a bit faster. And then you just become a wolf again. Okay, so we're gonna get ourselves onto that little ledge. And this is where our other bug is. Be waiting for us. And then we're gonna do our lily pad bugs. We call these bugs pain and suffering because they are very RNG based. It's very tricky sometimes to kill them. Like, you can go from getting a double kill on them to like having them run around you for forever. But luckily we got them done in not too long. And then we gotta go up here to get our last bug in Zora's domain. Oh my goodness, okay. And we're gonna go down to Upper Zora River now to talk to Isa and get that bug, and then we're gonna go back down and through Castletown. We do have to open up the Castletown portal as well. One, because it's the only way to get into Castletown, but also because we need to warp there at the end of the game to get to Ganon's castle. So there's Isa, her little spirit's over there. We're gonna go talk to her to spawn in our last bug in Upper Zora's River. Our last and only bug, I guess, in the ZR. And then the water is gonna guide us back down towards Castletown again. So this segment is just us running to the Castletown War Portal where we have to do another beast fight. This beast fight is actually pretty interesting because it's very easy to hit the barrier. So you have to kill the last two shadow beasts in a certain order. You have to target the one closest to the barrier first, and then the other one will run towards you. That way you can actually hit the barrier while killing the last shadow beast, and it won't matter. You'll still finish the fight. This fight is harder for new players because sometimes they don't really understand that you need to, you know, target the shadow beasts in a certain way. I definitely didn't understand it when I first started, so I was always hitting the barrier without finishing the fight first. So can be a little bit frustrating for new players. So I'll just show you guys this fight. And you notice that I was in C down again because I didn't want any lag. So I just run right into the fight. And we're always going to get 3 Shadow Beasts unless it's the last one. The last one you can get 5. So I'm going to target him first, and then that guy comes very quickly, so you do need to target pretty fast to make sure you're targeting the guy closer to the barrier first. And then just like that, we're going to run right into Castletown to get our last bug in here. And then we got to go back to Lake Hylia because we're going to have 2 bugs to get in Lake Hylia and then the boss bug at the end. And I do dash cancel all through Castletown just because it is a little bit faster movement. It's essentially just dashing, but then doing some type of movement to get the dash to go again. Usually a neutral B, which I do. Just so that way you're not always just waiting around to be able to dash again. You can just do it right away. Okay. And then we got, we have our last bug. Well, not our last bug, but our last bug in Castletown. And then as soon as we turn blue, we're good to warp. We can warp right to Lake Hylia again. We do have to go behind Fire's hut here to get one of our bugs. We can kill him pretty quickly. And just wait for the tear to come down. And then we have to do another Karg flight. We gotta howl for our Karg. Because the Karg is gonna take us to the other side of Lake Hylia. You can only get there with the Karg flight. But also with the Karg flight is 2 more bugs that you do need to get as well. Luckily you can just target them and the card will go right to them. You don't need to like aim too efficiently here. Sorry, there's 3. I don't know why I counted 2. There's 3 here. Because there's one at the very middle here. You actually don't need to finish this card flight. You can just get your bugs and then all you need to do is crash into the wall and not continue, and you'll actually end up on the other side. Okay, there's 4. I cannot count. I don't know why. I thought there was like 2 and then there was 4. But then you'll end up like washed up on shore with the last bug that you need before the boss bug final battle. Which is Derek. Derek is our big bug. You usually get a big bug at the end here because this is the very last bug in the very last Twilight. That's why they made a boss fight for it. You can kill Derek quickly if you do something called like a fast boss bug. And you're able to actually grapple him early before his attack. So the first one is normal, but the other 2 you can actually target him early. Or jump onto him early. And I'm just going to go into C up here just to make sure that Derek comes to me a little bit faster. You usually wait for him to do 2 rotations. And then you want to have him come to you head on in order to grapple him early. See, just like that. Oh, sometimes that happens where if you just don't have him quite in the right angle or position, sometimes Wolf-Link will just backflip right off of him, which it's no big deal. You know, the fast boss bug is not going to save you a ton of time. It just is, you know, obviously a little more convenient. See, and I kind of messed up, but it is no worries. You just have to wait for him to attack again, and then you can just do it normal. And then there's a faster way to end the fight. You just need to go up to that little, like, left hand side tentacle and kill that one, and then the game will think that you've done all the tentacles. So he just dies a little bit faster. Okay. And then you just skip this one as well. Fun fact, if you don't skip this cutscene in particular, I believe it is the Lilia or Ilia cutscene with like the evil crab, and since you have the Master Sword early, it causes a crash in the game. Just because of the graphics. Makes it crash. So you just want to skip it and make sure that doesn't happen. So as I was talking about before, we don't have the Zora armor, so we do need to get bombs, like water bombs, in order to be able to refill our air for the Morpheal fight. So that's gonna require me now to get bomb bags from Isa. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna dupe the bomb bag. So I'm gonna complete the Shadow Beast fight as Wolf, which you're not really supposed to be able to do, but there is a strat to be able to complete that, and she's gonna let you actually into her hut as Wolf and ask for your help to do her mini game. But all you have to do is tell her basically that you'll help her, and then you need to warp out, like warp back to Upper Zora's domain. She's gonna let you back in again, and then you're gonna say you're gonna help her again. And essentially she's gonna give you the bomb bag the first time, and then the bombs the second time, and that's gonna allow you to have bombs in a bomb bag just there without having to go to Barnes for them, which is very, very useful. And then we're going to empty out our normal bombs and get water bombs once we get to Lakebed. And you're probably wondering, like, what the hell is happening right now? Is because we're howling. We have to get the ending blow. So I have to howl in order to have this guy spawn for me after the end of MDH. We usually go get the ending blow. just since we couldn't get it at the beginning of the game, since we never cleared Fair and Twilight. But if you get to Ganon and you don't have the ending blow, you cannot finish the run. It's the only way to kill Ganon. Okay, so we're gonna talk to her. She's gonna say we're closed. You just have to do this precise movement on the stairs to get the barrier to come up. I'm just gonna go behind the sign. You want to be wolf. If you get stuck in the barrier as human, you can't really kill the shadow beasts. So you want to be wolf. You're not gonna have Minna at this time, just because you're not like in Twilight, so she's not gonna be on your back. And it's also, yeah, I also believe it might be like in the same timeline as MDH. Oops. Oh my goodness. That's fine. I think I'm okay. Oh, maybe I'm not. No, I'm definitely not. I'm gonna need to reset this. It's fine. I kind of messed up a little bit on that one. Okay. You need to hit these guys at the same time. There. Yeah, you kind of wanna jump attack the first guy, and then as soon as you kill the other guy, you gotta spam A. Basically, spam jump attack on the other guy to kill them, because you have a certain timer before that guy screams, and it's very short, so you gotta like do it very fast. So here we go. You just gotta tell Isa that we're gonna help her. Close this. See how she gave us the bombs? Now we're gonna have to do it again, and we're gonna get the bomb bag. We just have to trick the game into thinking that we have bombs when we don't. You'll see that there is a black rupee in the item wheel as well. That's kind of like the item placer. That's gonna tell the game that I do have the bomb bag and bombs. You get a little item holder every time that you get an item in the game. Okay, so then we're gonna go to Snow Peak. We have to go to Snow Peak to get the, oh my goodness, I'm doing like musical chairs up there. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go to Snow Peak to get the ball and chain. The ball and chain, we actually need it for Zant, because you can't kill Zant in Blizzetta phase without it. It's actually just impossible. So that's the whole reason that we go to Snow Peak. And also, Snow Peak does have a couple other uses because it has all the money there. You need quite a bit of rupees in order to repair the cannon, but we can get 200 there. Luckily, the ball and chain also has other uses. You can use it to kill the dark nuts pretty quickly, as you'll see when we get to Hyrule Castle. And you can also use it for to kill a few other enemies fairly fast. Whoops. And also just to break things, like there's a couple of towers and things like that when we go into Arbiters that you need to break. So we'll go up here. I also did not explain what I did at the beginning. I did something called like map glitch. So that's the whole reason that I can be going up this mountain, is because the map is technically unloaded right now. Usually if you just came up here normally, you would void out because it would be just way too hard to see. And Minna would tell you that you need the reekfish scent in order to make your way up here. But luckily we don't need any of that because we unloaded the map. So the whole reason that I unloaded the map was to get up here, but now I need to howl, because if I dug after unloading the map, I would just softlock the game. So we're just gonna howl to unload or load the map back in. We don't need to do a full howl, we can just leave after that. You just want to be very careful when climbing that mountain because if you die while having the map unloaded, you would just soft lock the game as well. So just have to be careful. Okay. So I have two boomerangs in my inventory because I did that duping, the item duping, and it kind of messes with your item wheel a lot. Like it gives you random like rupees in there, and it's gonna look appear like you have two of one item. Whoops! Oh, my goodness. Okay. Sometimes those keys give you a hard time. I'm actually gonna skip the messenger fight here. We're gonna do something. It's literally called messenger skip. So I'm just going to do a long jump attack over there, and that's actually going to load up the ability for me to talk to Yato right away without doing the messenger fight. The only downside with this is you have to do snowboarding blind now because the fog is actually not cleared. But it does save you quite a bit of chunk of time to not have to do the messenger fight. And Yato's going to show us his snowboarding skills. What a legend. Okay, so we're just gonna hit the tree, get our our snowboard. With snowboarding, you want to try to jump and do spin attacks just to increase your speed. Obviously, you can't always do this because you need to be on the ground and like know what you're doing, right? You don't want to. The last thing you want to do in snowboarding is void out because you have to start at the very top. And in my case, I'm gonna die because I have one heart. So I definitely do not want to void. I'm gonna have to do a game over screen and then also restart everything with the snowboarding. So we're just gonna try to be very careful not to void. I am going to take the shortcut, which is a little bit risky because it's blind. And there's a couple gaps that I do have to jump over. So right here, you just want to stick to the left. Oh my goodness, that was so risky. Okay. Okay, we got it. So that was just like the risky part. After that is pretty straightforward. You just jump down here. And then you can just go all the way to the end. This save you quite a bit of time. And Minna's gonna yap again. She always does. I am gonna grab some hearts just because having one heart in here is not really the most ideal situation. So we're gonna go into here, we're gonna do a long jump attack to get over this gap, which is a common theme in this speedrun. And you can actually claw shot like up through the floor, if you just know where that medallion is. And I'm gonna do an ice clip as Wolf. You can kind of just transform and angle yourself a certain way, and then when you transform again, you'll be through the ice. So that saves you from having to do the casual strats of using the cannonball. So we just line ourselves up here. Oh! Oh my goodness, sorry guys. I don't know like why this is happening. There. Okay, and then you just angle yourself. You have to angle yourself like pretty far left. And then we can just avoid these guys. And now we're going to do something called freezer skip, so we have to be Wolf again. Wolf is faster anyways. We're just going to come beside this guy, and we're going to jump behind him. Right into the load zone. You actually can't just run into that load zone. There's nothing there. The load zone is in the door, so you still have to open the door in order to get into the Dark Hammer fight. But this guy's pretty simple. You're just want to do something to make sure that he's gonna throw his ball and chain. Runners have different strats for this. I usually just like to claw shot up past him, and then as soon as he throws, I can just do a couple spin attacks, and he's dead. It's very easy. You actually don't need to do anything else in this dungeon. You just need to come for the ball and chain. You don't need to do Blizzetta. So I'm just going to do the ball and chain, and then I'm going to get my money before I leave. Because Darkhammer owed me $100, and we are going to collect. It's like a kind of a long cutscene. You're not allowed to skip it. Well, you're allowed, but you can't, because you can't skip the cutscene. So I'm just going to go in here for my money. You gotta have your ball and chain. It's just in this guy. Whoops! If you kill the armor, there's a little skull guy in there that has some money. And we're just gonna do the same thing in the front of the dungeon. So you just save warp to get to the front again. And we're gonna collect that last orange rupee and then Uku back to Lakebed for more fuel. Okay. So Morpheal is the middle of the run. Morpheal is kind of where where it decides if your run is gonna live or not, because there is kind of some RNG and a lot of skill involved in Morpheal. She can be very challenging at times. But the first thing we need to do is get rid of these normal bombs, because they're gonna be no use to us in the underwater. We need to get water bombs. Water bombs are the only way you can refill your air. Oh my gosh, I hit the wrong one, sorry. Ah! No! Oh my goodness. Yeah, it can be a little bit tricky in here too. Okay. So I just need to get rid of this Stactite Slagmite thing. Luckily we do have bombs to do that. And it's really easy, quick and easy to get rid of your bombs with the waterfall. And luckily there is a chest with water bombs right above me, so it's super convenient. You can't hold normal bombs and water bombs at the same time, so you have to get rid of all of your bombs, like normal bombs, in order to be allowed to have water bombs with you. Because the game only wants you to have one type of bomb at any given time. So we're doing something now called the boss key skip that I was talking about earlier, where instead of going all the way to get the boss key, you can just clip yourself into the boss room. Just with some precise angling. We're gonna get ourselves in the banister. And then we just gotta kind of take ourselves out a little bit. We're gonna do 3 backflips without falling in the pond. And just like that, we are in the boss room. And I keep the iron boots on because we need to descend all the way down to Morpheal. And you can do some fun, like, claw dance moves here. Not only is that just fun, but it also keeps the claw out for you when you go to claw shot the eye. Which you need to claw shot this guy pretty fast and spin attack him pretty fast, because if he runs away from you, you're kind of out of luck for the most part in getting this guy done in phase 1. So just like that. Oh, and I couldn't quite get... I wanted to have a bomb ready already, but he went in a little bit too fast, but it's fine. We can just stay on the ground and do our first bomb refill. Essentially what I'm doing for the bomb refills is I want to quickly, as I'm basically taking the bomb out in that animation of like him reaching for his pocket, you want to open up the item wheel and take off your boots and aim in a certain direction. Well, you can aim in any direction, but you just want to hold a direction and he's going to have it in his hands. But when you hit A, the game is going to think that you've surfaced and you actually can refill your air. Oof. And then you just get the eye. You need to get this eye 3 times in order to kill Morpheal. On the 3rd time, you can do something called a regrab to very quickly, after your 2nd attack, you can regrab him, and that way you don't need to waste another bomb. You'll have enough air to do your 2nd and 3rd attack, since the 3rd attack is just a finishing move. Oh, this is cutting it a little bit close. Oh no, yeah, I cut it way too close. Okay, no worries. If you drown, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It is just gonna waste you like 4 minutes of your life, but it's not the end of the world. It's gonna spawn you outside the boss door. Oops. Yeah, I cut it a little bit too close. I honestly thought I might have been okay. Like, it was a frame decision, honestly. And you have to redo your boss key skip now. You have to go up here. I'm gonna have to do the boss key skip a little bit differently. I'm gonna have to use my boomerang and just kind of do a long jump attack onto the banister. Sometimes that Kegtite can ruin your day as well if you have it targeted or it's like in the staircase with you. You'll target it instead of the where you need to go. At least we're getting lots of practice in. I think that's right, yeah. Okay. I had to think about that for a second. I'm like, do I have the right equips? Okay. So we just redo it. This time I did get the bomb out. This is what you ideally that you want to do. Because now I'm going to go up with Morpheal and I'm also going to already have my bomb ready to go with my water refill or air refill. Well, I don't know if we need any water refills. We're already underwater, but yeah, maybe some air would be nice. And this big cutscene, you can't skip this cutscene with Morpheal. This is usually when runners like take their break because you just have her swimming around for centuries. So I just want to target her to make sure I'm kind of lined up with where her eyeball is. And you do want to have the boots on because if you don't have the boots on when you go to attack, you fly way up into the air. Which it can be negated with a, if you call Midna, you can kind of negate moving up so high in the air. But it's just generally good practice to have your boots on. Oh my gosh, she didn't even stop for me. That's so rude. Alright, we have a lot more air this time, guys. It should be alright. Yeah, we are chilling this time. It's because, yeah, sometimes when you grab her for the 2nd attack, if you have, you know, 3/4 air left, it is a little bit monka-ass. As you've seen, because I ended up drowning over it. But as long as you get the regrab, you're usually okay. And then we just have a kind of a longer cutscene here as well. A lot of like unskippable stuff with Morpheal. You also want to be careful with Morpheal because she will make you use up a lot of bombs sometimes. Because I drowned, so I ended up using 4. But even there's times where even in one fight with Morpheal, you can use 6, 7 bombs. So sometimes you have to end up getting more bombs from Arbiter's Grounds because you need at least 2 for Zand, and it is ideal to have at least 2 in Hyrule Castle as well. And I usually use 2 in Arbiters as well for the skeletons. Although you can just use a ball and chain for them as well. So. And there is another strat in Arbiters where you can, it was just discovered not that long ago, where you actually don't have to kill the skeletons at all. You can just kind of slash into the wall and claw shot up. Oh, I forgot to split again. It makes it look like I saved a bunch of time when I lost a lot of time. And we don't want to save. We don't need to save at all anymore unless we're save warping, which we will save warp after we get the spinner, I believe. The next save warp is. And that'll be in Arbiter Grounds. We do have to do Minna's Desperate Hour. After beating the Water Temple, Zant injures her pretty badly. So now we have to make our way back to Zelda like we did in the first sewer section. So we'll just make our way. We have to do it without the assistance of Minna. I usually leave C down here just so I kind of know where I'm going. And there's our favorite wolf guy. That's where we're going next to get our ending blow. That's why I had to howl before Isa. The reason we don't get him like right away is because he spawns you in North Faron. So it would be a huge inconvenience if you woke up there. Oh my gosh, that cat is like hunting me down. I've never had that happen. Yeah, but it would be a huge inconvenience if we ended up in North Faron when we're trying to be in Castletown right now. So we just wait until we're done this and then we can get him pretty easily and warp to Lake Hylia for Arbiters. So in this time, instead of getting the bug, we're going into the bar where they tell Bewildebeest to get out. It's just very rude. And then our favorite girl, Louise, was going to help us out. I always love that about this game, that Wolflink can talk to all the animals, like Epona and everything. It's very like animal friendly, which is always great. It's a bit of a cutscene. She's gonna tell us to go up there and we gotta sneak past the Gorons and Helma. Because they know like doggies. You just want to be very careful not to like knock any pots over, because you'll get a cutscene where they're like, "What was that?" You won't get caught, but like I feel like if you push more than one off, you definitely will get caught. So just gotta be careful, especially if you like jump down, because then you'll get kicked right out. And this is our first Poe. We're gonna see a lot of Poes coming up because we have to do Arbiters. Whoops. And that was our introduction to the Poe guy. But luckily we're doing any percent, so we don't need to worry about collecting all the Poes. That'll be the only one we collect, just to talk with him and get the waterway open. And for this one, I'm actually just going to use another utilization of having the Master Sword is just, let me just be human and burn this cobweb instead of having to do the puzzle where you bring the stick up with the fire. Because even at this point in the game, you wouldn't have the Master Sword available to teleport. And you wouldn't have, obviously, Midna's ability to help you out there. You want to kill him because he will shoot you on the rope no matter what you do. He is like a sharpshooting god, so you want to make sure that he's dead. He'll shoot you off right here if you don't kill him. And there's a lot of ropes to go up here. You just want to be careful not to fall off. Like this guy you can ignore, he doesn't have a bow, so he's like harmless. And same with this guy. We're actually going to do a couple precise jumps here, just to skip those other two ropes. You can do a long jump attack there as well, but I'm just a little bit too scared of falling. So I just do that rope. And then we got the rooftop. You'll notice that the wind is going here. You want to be a little bit cautious just when you're jumping and things, because the wind can push you back and make you fall. I just call Midna there just to get the bridge to reset and go up for me. Just a quick and easy way to get to the other side. There is a way to meet the wind cycle and just quickly get on the bridge and jump over, but it is a little bit risky. And then we'll go in here. And we can just skip all this. This is the cutscene where Midna gets healed. So it is a little bit longer. It's got a couple parts to it. And then we gotta go up and get our ending blow, because otherwise we can't kill Ganon. It is canon that this guy's from Ocarina of Time. You can see the warrior. He's the Link from Ocarina of Time and like MM. Which is very sad, like how he ended up. It's like such a sad story. I believe he like went looking for what was like Navi in the Lost Woods or something, and then he ended up becoming a Stalfos. But he is wise and helping baby Link become stronger. And just like that, we have ending blow. Alright, now we're gonna go straight over to Lake Hylia. This is how we're gonna get to Arbiters. We're gonna go up and get Auru's memo, and then Fire's gonna give us a free ride to Desert. I hope everyone likes ladders. Ladders are very fun. I try to see up transform here so I can save a little bit of time, just because if you transform normally, the camera pans out a lot and it causes a lot of lag. And again, we're switching to Wolf because Wolf is just a faster option, especially in large maps like Lake Hylia. And I just kind of face this way because if you face the lake, there's a lot of lag. So Especially like Kylie, it's so massive. So we got his memo, and then we can just do a quick equip with that. We did equip the ball and chain again just because we need to destroy a tower once we get closer to arbiters. That way we don't need to get a boar to break anything for us. And I just quickly transform into human just before I leave the bridge, because you'll notice you heard like a bit of music and the bird coming. That's Plum. And Plum will try to sell you on his minigame. And the dialogue takes quite a bit of time. You also just need to be human because you'll scare fire if you are wolf, obviously. He won't serve a wolf, he'll only serve a human. So the desert is another pretty lag heavy place. I just go into Sea Down because I already know where I'm going. It is quite a bit of a running sequence here. There's a couple big gaps I have to run around. The music is bumping in this place though, I like it. And those Mordorm things, like those little worms in the ground, are so annoying. Especially when you get into arbiters, they like mess you up so much. Okay, just check where I'm going and then I can go back and Sea Down. We're gonna get spotted by the Bolblins here. They're gonna get kind of mad at us and send their boars our way. Usually what you can do is like steal one of their boars to knock down the gate. But since we have the ball and chain, we can easily just knock down this one tower. And again, I'm gonna try a C-up transform. I didn't quite get it. See how it panned out? That's how you know you didn't really get the C-up transform very good. And then I'll just do my equips right away. I always like bonk my head there. Okay. Giving Link a concussion day after day. And you can just roll through the side there to clip yourself in instead of having to knock everything down. We're just saving infrastructure. And we're gonna do another map glitch here because we have to do KB3, and in order to get into KB3 without running through the camp, you can actually void out of bounds. And since you have the map unloaded, you can warp yourself right into the KB3 fight. So we're gonna go as human there. What I did was call Minna and open the map at the exact same time. So instead of warping, we had Minna talk to us, and then we were able to just transform right into human. I kind of messed that up a little bit, but it's not a big deal. If you mess it up, you can kind of just run up and then just hope and pray that the guy doesn't shoot you with his arrow. But he's not very good at his job, to be honest. He doesn't usually hit me. And just like that, we're right in KB3. You can just skip it, and then we're gonna do some spin attacks. You want to do the spin attacks pretty quickly to kill him, because if you give him any leeway, he'll do a really big attack that does like 4 hearts of damage. So he can be a little bit scary, and since we're in map glitch, if he kills you, your game is soft locked. So you'd have to go back, well, essentially your run would be dead because you don't really have a save file that would be close enough to being able to salvage it, unless you went back to, I guess, one of your save warps. And this is another unskippable cutscene. We actually are going to take the boar this time. You have to put the boar through the gate in order to escape. Very cool. And then in front of us is Arbiters. Arbiters is known as one of the harder dungeons in the game just because there's a lot that can like go wrong, but there's also a lot of like extra strats that top runners use, such as like Stallard skip and I died and like Death Sword skip and things like that. So um, it does take a lot of practice to save a lot of time here. But we just roll through here, pull the chain. And we do need this small key to get through the door. Unfortunately, there's no way to get through a lot of these doors without small keys. This is kind of like the first dungeon that we do it to its entirety. We don't, you know, do half and leave and come back, or just do half. We have to do the whole thing right, like, off the hop, so... Yeah, this probably makes it a little bit more challenging because it's the first dungeon, right? So you do completely. And then we get a big unskippable cutscene here. Oh my gosh, I didn't run in enough. I thought I started right away. But you get a cutscene with the pose and the door closing, which unfortunately, you know, you can't get around the cutscene because if you could run right through that gate. But no, we'll have to get our pose. We can get 3 out of 4 pose and still be fine, because you can do something called Po1 skip, where you do a long jump attack and skip a little portion of the game, or the first Po battle. Which we're going to do that straight away, so I'll show you guys that one. So instead of fighting that Po, we can just come up here. Oops. See, those Moldworms are so annoying. And then you just long jump attack over there. Do your equips. You're going to need the lantern again. There's another lantern puzzle in this dungeon. And then you're also going to need the ball and chain for this guy. So the ball and chain does have a lot of uses once you do get it. As much as we just need it for Zant, at least it's useful in other areas. Just do a little side hop. And then this is the Po 4 fight we're going into right now, so there's going to be some RNG manipulation. I missed my roll. But you can get the... So, essentially, the ghosts attack you twice. So the Poes will go around like so, and they're going to attack you once. But to determine how fast that they attack you the second time is dependent on some RNG manipulation. So just depending on which Po attacks me, I'm going to do a certain movement that's going to allow them to attack me straight away again. So that one was jump attack right away, and I did it correctly because they right away will spin around to attack me again. If you don't do RNG manipulation, it is just a random amount of time that they will start spinning to attack you. So you do want to make sure you're doing that manipulation. And I will have to sniff this Po in order to go on to the next Po fight, because you actually need the scent in order to dig in the sand for one of the chains. And then we'll push this one. We don't have a ton of rupees, so we are going to get the red rupee chest in here. It's not always required. Like, say you had, you know, already close to 300 rupees, you don't need to get the chest, but since I didn't collect any in Elden or Linear Twilight, I usually do get that chest. And then this is the place I was talking about where you do need the scent in order to dig. Without it, you wouldn't be able to access this Poe. Sometimes the skull gives me a hard time. Like so, but luckily we were still able to push it. We do have to kill this Redead. Again, with the ball and chain is just so helpful. You can just use that to kill the Redead. We are gonna have to slash this guy's giving us a hard time. You can get this one. And then you claw shot up to the next Poe. Each Poe fight is also kind of like a little puzzle. Or they all have like their own little strats. You just want to make sure that these guys are dead. Oh my gosh. Or at least they have to at least be on the ground in order to not give you a hard time when killing that Poe. Because they can hit you and make you not hit the other Poe or make you lose your finish cycle and the Poe will stand back up. I keep grabbing these skulls. And that's Remy. Remy likes to give everyone a hard time. Okay, so we're just gonna go to the last Poe, and again, we don't need to actually kill the first Poe because since we did that whole long jump attack with the pillar and got to Poe 4 right away, the game already thinks that we have that Poe. So we just need to get this last one and then the gate will open for us. And you'll notice that before I did Poe 2, I got a small key. The small key is actually for this door. We're opening it on the other side. So we're going into this room backwards. And it's really cool how you can end up doing that. We're just killing the Poes in like a little bit of a different order. Whoops. Oh, that was my fault. Ah! Oh my god! Ah! This is so Monka-esque. Oh my goodness. I almost died. I'm also not supposed to like... Oh my goodness. I wasn't supposed to bring the Poe out that far because the Redead could have like screamed at me. And I'm just gonna run away before those guys kill me. That was pretty messy. I was trying to get some more green rupees. Because I need at least 280 in order to get the fire rupee and still be okay for my 300. I just need one more green rupee and we should be fine. So our health bar is not our friend right now. It's pretty easy to take damage. Like here in Palace, it's pretty easy to take damage. You gotta be careful with your health. You don't have a ton of it. And you kind of just jump over that pillar. Whoops. Okay, there we go. And then if you're up in the sand enough, you're able to just grab onto that ledge. So the boss key, you're not supposed to have the boss key until like you have the spinner and you went through this whole segment. But we're actually going to go through this backwards, just enough to get to Death Sword. And then we're just gonna save warp out and be pretty close to the boss room door. Because Arbiters is a little bit different. Arbiters actually has the boss closer to the entrance than the end of the dungeon. Because you're supposed to get the spinner and then like come back through the dungeon to get the boss key and the boss. So this is what I was talking about with the skeletons that you can kill with the bombs. We should have enough bombs. We only used 4 for Morpheal, so we should be all good. I'm really not getting very good on my CF transforms. Ah! Don't kill me, don't kill me! No, 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 no! Ah! Oh my goodness, this is so Monka-esque. I was trying to leave it there, but I picked up a skull. Oh my goodness. Okay. We might pick up some hearts before we go into Death Sword. Might be a good idea. There. Just so we don't get one-tapped or anything like that. And you can one-cycle Death Sword. He's pretty easy. You just have to do a few, like, 3 combos without actually finishing your combo. Just 3 hits. And if you keep going like that, you can one-cycle him. You can also skip him. It is just a little bit more precise. It's kind of like EMS, but it requires a minute charge. To jump like over where that little like opening is, you can jump up there and get your spinner early. And just like that, we have spinner. And then we're gonna save warp out to do Stallard now. Spinner is also one of those items where you don't really need it, but you need it for City. So if you didn't come to Arbiters, you couldn't do City. And I believe you wouldn't have the story progressed enough to go back and do Palace, because in order to unlock Mirror Chamber, you have to do Arbiters. So that's what makes the game so long, like the speedrun so long, is because you still need items for like one thing, or you need to get a chain of dungeons completed in order to progress the story just enough that you can get to Ganon at the end. There just unfortunately is no way to, currently, to sequence break enough that you're just in the later dungeons without doing some middle dungeons. So now we're just going to use the spinner to get in the main boss room door here. I still have not collected my green rupee. I don't know where I'm going to find that. We might be in for some trouble. There might be some outside the boss door, I don't know. And we just open this up. And then at the top here is the boss door. Let me see if we can find some rupees. Maybe. Maybe. Hearts. No. It's fine. We'll figure it out. So we're gonna fight Stallard. Some people skip Stallard, but it is very, very precise to skip Stallard. You can essentially do some like angle buffering, and you have to do a precise bomb boost as well. It's a lot of precise steps in a very short amount of time in order to skip him. Usually only top runners or like sub 3 runners will do that. Oh my goodness, I've never had this happen before. Very interesting. Usually you always end up on the track. You never end up like just in the sand after hitting him. Ugh, oh my goodness. Okay. A little bit of trouble here. His hand is like very dangerous. Oh my god. Oh, what is happening? I'm getting a very weird Stallard right now. Okay, so we got him done on his first phase, and there is a second phase you need to complete where it's just his head, and you're on your spinner on the wall trying to hit him off. You can one cycle Stallard though, like Stallard's second cycle, if you do a bunch of spin attacks in concession. So we just gotta go to our... It's quicker if you just use your spinner here. Spinner is quicker movement, obviously, in a spinner boss boss fight. Imagine that. So now it's just his head. Very creepy. There is a way to knock him down early. Let's see if I get it here. You have to do like 5 rolls and wait a minute. And then you can go up and hit him off right away. Oh, we actually did get it. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, no! So I didn't do that properly. Let's see if I can still get my one cycle. I gotta do this fast. No, oh my goodness. So that is very unfortunate. I probably would have golded that because I haven't done an early knockdown yet, but it's all good. So since I didn't do the one cycle properly, I do have to fight him normal right now. Which I don't think I've done in like, since I started the game. But it's, this boss fight is fun though, honestly. Like, I can't really complain about it. So I just gotta wait for him to show up. There he is. And he's gonna do his fireballs. Or maybe I could have... I don't know if I could have did the backup instead of doing him normal. That's something I should ask the Discord later. And I was actually only one spin attack off from getting him, which is super unfortunate. But it's all good. So then we just have another, the ones at the end of the game, a lot of them are unskippable, I'm noticing. Like after you kill a boss, it's unskippable. Like there's a really big Arborok cutscene as well, a couple of those. But in retrospect to other Zelda games, it's really not that much downtime at all. And we don't get that heart piece. Getting that heart piece is a bit slower. We just get on our spinner and leave the area. And we're not going to save, obviously. There's no point saving. And we're going to go up. This is our last Shadow Beast fight. This is the one where I was talking about where you get 5 of them. And I'm gonna have to look around Kakariko, I think, when we get there to see if I can get that last rupee that I need. I still have 279, which is not ideal right now. And we do have to zoom in now when we do our warping, just because we have the mirror chamber discovered. And since we didn't skip Stallard, Minna is now programmed to tell us to go to the mirror chamber every time we try to warp. Just because we don't have it, we didn't do like the full mirror chamber sequence yet. So we just have to zoom in and that will fix all our issues. I don't know where I can get money. Maybe like over here. Ah, it's all hearts. It's all hearts. What? Maybe if I get full hearts and they'll give me something money. Oh my goodness. I actually don't know where I can get monies. Okay, let's just go in here. We're gonna do early city once I get a rupee. Um, it would be good to know like backups for rupees. Let me just do early city first and then maybe we can figure it out in Hylia. Because we're gonna warp the cannon to like Hylia. I love that skip. That skip is huge because it saves you having to do the Skybook quest, which is just like the worst quest in the game. But yeah, you just warp this to like Hylia. And that's gonna help us get to city, but we do need 300 rupees before we are able to have him fix the cannon for us. It's kind of funny because if you play this game in French, you don't need the rupees at all. You just tell him like no, and then you go back and he fixes it for you for free. Uh, I actually don't know where there's rupees, guys. Oh my goodness, this is not very ideal. I didn't know where the bridge was. Let's just run around for a second. Oh, here. Okay, perfect. Okay, we got our rupee, so we just need to get the one from fire. Where did I go? Went the wrong way. Okay. I'm not very, like, good at going anywhere other than the route, because that's all I practice is the route. Um, like, I'm terrible at randomizers or anything like that, where you have to go out on your own to different areas. So I get lost very easily when I go astray. And then just the red here is good for 20, and then we can get him to fix the cannon for us. And that was a long cutscene as well with him having to fix it. But now we can go into city. This is the third last dungeon before the end of the game. It's just all dungeons now that we have to do. We lost a lot of time because we had to run around finding money. And this is the Uku's home and city. And we get introduced to our boss. This is Argarok. Argarok is terrorizing the Ukus. So mean. And they run into their little shop to see if everyone's okay. So we're just gonna roll through this wind cycle. There's a lot of long jump attacks in this dungeon. Like right off the hop, we're gonna do a couple long jump attacks instead of taking the Uku in this room. The reason why I kind of transformed like a lot further back from the door and transformed at all was because if you just walk through there as human, the big fan in this room will start moving, and you don't want that fan to move because you can't do the second part of City with that fan, with the fan moving. You want it to be still so then you can do something called Kai Clip, and that's going to allow you to get the boss key early without having to essentially do the dungeon casually. Because usually you would have to go into all different rooms and climb all the way to the top to get that boss key. But since we don't have the fan moving, we can just do Kai Clip and get it right away. But I'll show you guys that. This is quite out of the way. I have to come over here to get a small key. Unfortunately, the small key is required. You just can't get into a lot of doors without the small key. This will also be our kind of base point for when we come back for the second part of City. Because we're gonna have to save warp after we get our double claw shot, and it's gonna load us in here. And the reason it loads us in here instead of the start of the dungeon is because we're gonna do a cutscene skip here when we get out the door. Because usually Argarok is gonna break this bridge, but you can actually skip it. Skip the cutscene and save the bridge as well by jumping over the cutscene trigger. And you just do that. You can either use the banister or you can use the P-hat. I usually go with the P-hat. And then just jump right over it. I believe if you didn't get that cutscene, you would end up, when you save warp, you would end up in the start of the dungeon, which would lose you quite a piece of time. Okay, so we have to go over here. There's a few rooms that we need to get to in order to get our double claw shot. But the double claw shot is huge, especially for all the dungeons. This dungeon and the rest of the dungeons, you need the double claw shot, so definitely an important item. And this is like a couple of the only places that you need spinner for. There's actually no way to get this bridge to go without a spinner. And then I just equip my boomerang, because I'm going to need boomerang again for a lot of long jump attacks in these rooms. And our small key that we went so far out of the way for. I love the long jump attack because it just saves Sue so much time of like, usually you'd have to do a big puzzle, but you can just literally jump across the room and you're done. So it just makes it so much easier. And then you're in here. You can just do a spin attack here and kill both of these guys at the same time, so it's very useful. And then you just want to come up here before you get the cutscene of the door opening. And now we actually are going to utilize the Ukus for these two rooms coming up, this room and the next one. Because it's way too far to jump with long jump attacks, so you have to use these guys to fly you across to the other side. You just want to time your jumps with the fan. Make sure you don't go, if you go right away, you usually will miss the fan. But you also don't want to go too early either. Or too late, I mean, to like miss the fan that way as well. So I just kind of wait here, and then this guy will be ready. And then I can get this guy one cycle. And then you do something called an Uku jump here. You can just grab onto that ledge if you angle it properly. Just like that. And then we're going to do an Uku skydive here. Another use for the iron boots. Instead of having to jump all the way down those platforms. And just like that, we're in the double claw shot room now. There isn't a Relphos you have to fight here, but you can actually do something called a Relphos skip, where you skip the whole fight with an angle buffer. So I will show that to you guys. And you can claw shot the medallion with the angle buffer. So just start with the combo. And then I'm actually going to use my item wheel to buffer it. Oh shoot, I was actually a little bit too low. I had the wrong angle buffer just by a little bit. But it's okay, if you fail it, you can just reset. And that is a proper angle buffer. There. So just like that, we're in. We have our double claw. So just like I said before, we're going to end up in that little room where we got the small key. And luckily for us, chests actually work as two different platforms. So we can actually climb the chest and do a jump attack to get out of this room pretty quickly. Just like that. And then we're also going to want to equip our double claws and our boomerang for more LJAs. So we're going to go out. We don't need to do the cutscene skip again, because Argrok is not going to have his trigger there anymore. Once you have the double claws, he's kind of like out of your way. So we're just gonna do this normally. We're gonna run down normal. And then we're gonna do something called Kai Clip to get our early boss key. A lot of these strats are huge, like the Kai Clip. Just saves you having to do basically the entire dungeon casually. And same with the boss key skip in Lakebed Temple, because having to go get that boss key would just lose so much time. So we just have to target a specific part of the wall. That might have been too high, actually. Let me see. Oh no, it's fine. And then notice how it gave me a second option for my claw shot? That was for the one way up on the ceiling, that little grate. So it caused me to just phase through two different types of flooring, or grates, to get up here, which is very cool. Now we're going to do our fan LJAs. You can go on either side for this. You can go the left side or the right side. I prefer the right side. I actually just learned it the other day. I find it a lot more consistent. I hope I don't say that and then fall. But we're going to just grab here. And then you grab the other one. You want to go kind of quick because you don't want that bird in the background to come try to beef with you. So we're going to long jump attack there and then kind of come up a little bit. And then all you have to do is throw it and jump. Yep, and then we're all good. The other, like the left side, kind of requires a little more aiming, and I just feel like it's not as consistent as the right side. And then this is our fan room. So we're just going to, we have to do some aiming here. As long as you aim well, you're not really going to have too many issues in fan room. We've definitely had runners fall here, which is not ideal. It's kind of easy to fall off the ledges, which can kill you, and if you die in Twilight Princess, it will bring you back to the start of the dungeon, which is just not a good time at all. Wait, actually, no, I don't think that's true. Wait, if you die, does it bring you back to the... I'll have to look at that. I don't know if that's actually true. I think it depends on what where you are, what you're doing. Because I know if you die in a boss fight, it brings you back to like the boss door. So just like that, we made it through fan room. It's not very difficult once you're used to aiming and you know like when to claw shot each fan. And that's gonna bring us into Argarok. Whoops. You can do something called a rob shot there, where you claw shot it high enough that you don't really need to do a whole lot of climbing of the vine. So you try to take your time aiming there to make sure you get a good shot off. And then you kind of wait. You want to wait for Argarok to kind of make his way over. I like to just make sure I'm like kind of near the facing the pillars, so then I can do something called a regrab, where I'm just gonna aim very quickly up to one of the pillars, and then I'll have enough time to target his tail again and knock him down for the last time. Oops! Oh my gosh, no! I didn't actually get it because I messed up, but it's fine. We'll just climb up to the top here. Yeah, so if you do fail, you have to climb to the top and wait for him to come back around. Just take a little bit more time, and then you have a very big cutscene after this. Oh my god, man, what are you doing? Oh, it took forever. Yeah, and then you just wait for him to bring out his pea hats and stuff. It's kind of a long cutscene. You actually want to void out once you get control of Link again in order to reset his fighting patterns. Because there's a few, it's called like flame skips that you want to do to make Argarok think that you've fallen to the ground, and then he will go into his vulnerable phase where you can then claw shot his back. Yeah, but here goes his pea hats. So then I just void out there to reset his patterns. I want to get up there before he howls, or he does like a little growl animation. And that tells me when I need to target the P-hat. So that, and then I just target, and that's how I can line up with his flames. I just go under his flame like that, and then I target a couple. So see how he's like vulnerable right away? He thinks I'm on the ground right now, so then I just target his back. And that is the first flame cancel. The second one, you do the same thing. The third one is a little bit different, but same idea. Just because his third phase, he usually has a longer flame cycle. Like he'll do one round and then he'll turn around and try to get you again. So you have to do something a little different for the flame manip that way. So you just keep your boots on. You're just gonna wait for the growl. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe like a battle cry. And then you just go under the flame. And he thinks that you're on the floor again. Thinks that he's hit you. Okay. So we're just gonna do our third flame cancel. This one you actually don't want to have the boots on when you get up there. Obviously you need it right now because you're gonna get like blown away by the wind. But when you get up there, you want to take the boots off before you access him, because you don't want to slow or pull down the P-hats at all. And then you're gonna go to the fourth P-hat, and then you're gonna retarget. You're gonna turn around, wait till that guy's targeted with the flames, and then as soon as you see his flames go off, you want to take off the boots, and just like that, you've got him vulnerable again. So those flame cancels save a lot of time, opposed to waiting for him to like do his flames. And then also just going around with him, it just saves a ton of time. So then we just have a big cutscene of him dying as well, and then Minna yaps again, so we just lose time to her yapping all the time. This heart piece I am gonna get because Palace can be a little bit tricky for hearts. We only have 2 more dungeons left. So we have Palace and Hyrule, so we're almost all finished. Now we have them all. Collect them all, Pokemon. And then Minna's gonna let us out. Oh, I meant to side hop, but I did backflip. If you side hop right, you can very quickly get the heart piece. So we are just wanting to take the cannon home. We gotta put our boots on, make sure the wind doesn't take us. But also the boots are gonna help us to not land in the water here. If we just spam the sword attack, we're gonna be able to land up right on the bridge and warp away to the mirror chamber. Just quick and easy. And we're gonna go right into Palace. And of course, you just skip that cutscene. That cutscene will also crash your game if you watch it, so you just want to make sure you're not gonna do that. Oh, I meant to- oh my goodness. I meant to enter and then skip, but I paused it by accident. Palace is also another kind of hard dungeon. You'll see a lot of runners. They'll practice Arbiters and they'll practice Palace a lot. There's just a lot of strats in here that you can use to make sure you're saving time. There's also two parts of Palace as well. Well, there's two parts and then there's a boss fight. So Palace 1 is just us trying to get the light sword, or the butter sword. Oh, I messed it up. Not to worry. Okay. We got our key. This one I'm going to want to be Wolf again just because there's fog in here that's going to transform you. In the first room here, Minna will talk to you and tell you like all about how the fog is like transforming you, and it just loses some time. So if you're already Wolf, you're not going to have to deal with that whole like dialogue. And just like that, we have more chests appearing. But the second room, you actually do want to just stay human and let the fog transform you. It's just a little bit faster. And you won't get the Minna dialogue in the second room. So again, we're going to use the fact that the chest is kind of like two platforms, and we're just going to climb up here and jump attack again to get up. Just a little bit quicker than using the medallion to claw shot. And in this room, we're going to have our first Phantom Zant fight. So with Phantom Zant, you are going to want to have, if you have headphones, you're going to want to be able to have headphones so you can kind of know where he's spawning. Because if you wait too long to go kill him, or to hit him, he'll throw his ball. And that is going to really mess you up because if he has, oh my goodness, see, just like that. If he spawns enemies, okay, those guys actually might be okay. But if he spawns like the Squeebles, he won't attack you until you've dealt with the Squeebles. Oh my goodness. Or if you wait like this too long, he's gonna start going in circles now. I guess you guys can see from like demonstration how you can mess it up. Ah! Where is bro? Yeah, and then you gotta wait for him to be normal again, and it takes a while. There we go, he's normal again. I usually do 3 rounds of just hitting him 3 times, and then at the end, like the 4th time, I do a combo. And that usually finishes him off. But that was an example of like a bad sand fight. Hopefully the next one will be okay. And then we just, yeah, you want to quickly grab that soul because if you go too close or like take too long, Minna will start talking to you. Like she yaps so much in this dungeon. Well, to be fair, it's her home, so like she is a little more emotional in this dungeon. Oh! Come on, dude. I was trying to do something called an L slide where you can kind of target as you're doing the claw and then you can slide to the right. It would have just avoided having the squeebles spawn at all. But of course, if that doesn't happen, you can just run around the perimeter and you'll be okay. They won't touch you. And then I kind of just run around these guys so they don't hurt me. Then we just drop our first ball in, and then we gotta go to the east wing to get our second ball for the light sword. You can do another long jump attack here. And then you can do a long jump attack and you can fall. And that really saves a lot of time. Like, to be honest, just saves. It's world record pace now. But no, you can try again. There you go. So then you get to the other side. And this is what we like to call stupid room, because a lot can go wrong in this room. Like so. You can fall very easily, and no, it's fun. It's all fun. I'm just gonna wait for this platform. There we go. And then you can also fall on these guys. Whoops. Or get hit by. Okay, that was my fault. I don't know why I didn't wait for the I should have waited for him to attack me. Whoops. Okay, so we're just gonna go try again. You really don't want to get hit by those things because they'll knock you off like that, or they'll kill you. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. Let's go. So you have to kill that Zand head to get to progress, to get this small key. So like I was saying before, I'm not gonna transform into wolf. I'm just gonna let the fog transform for me, and then just save some time. I'm gonna try to like maybe get a heart. There we go, just so we don't like die. Usually you want a little more momentum when you kind of want to like dash like this, and then you go into your Mina charge to kill them right away. And then if you go fast enough, because I just killed that guy, but I can grab that, but just before the chest spawns, and then that way I'm already up there and I can just claw shot the rest of the way that I need to. I targeted it a bit low, so I kind of had to target really high to get that target. There's long jump attacks are a little bit different in Palace. You have to wait for it to be behind the wall, because behind the wall there's voids. So luckily I was just able to wait until it was behind the wall. And then you can long jump attack over. It saves some time over having to jump down and claw shot. All that fun stuff. Okay, hopefully this fight goes better. So I hit him before he threw the ball, so that's really good. And then we're gonna do one more of those, and then the combo. If he spawns in the middle, that's very, very lucky. You don't have to like move too much at all. And that's an example of a good Phantom Zant fight. We had one good, one bad, so we'll take it. And the hand becomes very angry that we took his ball. This is actually an easier chase sequence than the first room. which is surprising because it happens second. But it's usually pretty easy to throw the ball and progress. Other than Stupid Room, I mean, as long as you don't fall in Stupid Room, you're okay. So yeah, you just throw this like straight ahead, skip this, and you're good. For this room at least. As long as you don't fall, I almost fell. And then we go through Stupid Room. We don't really need to worry about that Keese as long as it's not gonna bother us. I do try to boomerang the Keese to get them killed easier or like more quickly because sometimes they'll rush you at the end and knock you off the platform. And then these guys go back to normal. Or whatever normal is for them. Okay, and then we can just throw this right on. And that is our light sword. Okay, and then Minna's gonna yap again. She always gets very excited when you get a new sword. And they go, oh, oh. So now we're going into the second part of Palace. There's a few rooms here that you gotta kind of watch out for. This first room you can kind of just cut through. You can cut through fog now because you have the light sword. And then you have these two balls that you gotta throw. You gotta play some basketball. It's more like bowling, I don't know, or like golf or something. And these squeebles. I do try to just spin attack the squeebles to get them off my plate because it can get a little overwhelming with the amount of like things that are trying to attack you. Just heal up, and then I can do a long jump attack here as well. Just to get over there a little bit faster. Or not, or not. Yeah, sometimes that happens. It's fine. Let's try again. Let's try again. There we go. That is how you're supposed to do it. Ah! And then you can get this guy. Ow! That's so rude. Oh my god, I'm struggling. Your girl is struggling right now. Okay. And I ended up on top of the chest. Very nice. Okay, so let me just get this platform. And then we're gonna go get the boss key for this dungeon. There's a couple ways to do this room. You can either get the boss key first or last after getting the Xanhead. You do save a few seconds getting it last, but you have to deal with a lot more enemies trying to get you when you're trying to like claw shot up to the boss key. So I just prefer to get the boss key first. That way I'm not dealing with the Xanheads shooting at me. because it is a little bit precise. You kind of have to like aim through the fog. Oops. So there's our boss key. And the Kargs are always trying to get you. That spin attack would have been much more useful if the Zan heads were here, but it's honestly worth just getting the boss key first, in my opinion. And then we can go get the Zant head. We're gonna have to get a heart over there as well. Oops. Yeah, these Kargs are very annoying. They all come for you at one time. A fun fact is they actually can't get you while the platform's moving though, so it's reassuring to know that. Okay, so this is a little monk ass for my health, but should be okay. No! Oh my god, that scared the heck out of me. Ah, get a heart, get a heart. I am like, I don't know, like I would say I'm experienced enough with the room that I'm okay on half a heart, but that Karg always scares me at the end. Okay, so this room up ahead is called Early Platform. So you can get the platform early, shocker from the name. You just need to do some precise movement, you need to do some long jump attacks. I also call Midna just to make it a little bit easier for me, because once you call Midna, the platform at the top will pause, and it also brings down the Shadow Beast a little bit earlier for you to spin attack here. It's just going to make it a little more lenient for me to get the platform early. So we just do a little spin attack, and then we're gonna, oops, just wait for this other platform to spawn, and then immediately long jump attack, get on this one, and then it's just claw shotting the rest of the way. You just want to go as quick as you can. So notice how that platform is going back. I have until it comes back around again to get up there and onto it. So I do have quite a bit of time, honestly. It's not too crazy. It's usually just that one long jump attack that will kind of mess you up if you overshoot the platform. Okay, so we're on it, so that's perfect. And then we just need to get this Zant head. And the last small key before Zant. There is a long jump attack you can do here, but I never do it because I'm like a little bit scared of falling. Like doing all that and then falling back down to the bottom would be terrible. So I just wait for the platform. So in here you have another kind of Shadow Beast fight, but not really because you can just, it's not really a puzzle. They're not going to scream at you and you can one-shot all of them. So I just wait until the one explodes and then I line up another jump spin attack to get the other ones. You get up to 4 that will come at you at one time. Let's get some hearts while I'm over here. And then another set of 4. Oh, see, but he didn't scream. It's not really a puzzle. It's just like a little fight. Oh my goodness, it's fine. It's fine. So lost a little bit of time because I accidentally hit the fog there. Okay, so we're gonna go into Zant now. Zant also has a Morpheal phase where you have to use the air refills again. That's why you need at least 2 bombs in order to Zant, but you want to have at least 4 by this time because you want to have 2 for this one and then 2 for also for Hyrule. You super king. And this is, he actually does spawn in the Diababa fight first off. We did not see this in the run. The goal for each phase is just to combo him twice. So as long as you get that done, and you don't even need to hit him, you just need to hit him with the combo twice, and that's it. And this is the Dongoro phase, where we were never even in Goron Mines for the run. Ow! Okay, then we just need to get him one more time. And then we're going into the Morpheal phase now. He's gonna come out of a few Zant heads, so you just have to... Whoops. You have to essentially just know his pattern and how to manipulate which Zant head he's gonna come out of. He'll always come out of the one that's farthest from you, like after this phase. So you just want to make sure that you go to the right location for him to come out of the right Zant head. And then you just do a combo. So here I'm gonna do a air refill. This air refill is actually pretty tight. But as long as you have a good idea of how to do it, you're pretty okay. So we're gonna go to the second like seaweed patch here and just look at the Zant head coming up that's the furthest away, like over there. Once you see his eyes, you can start doing your second and last bomb refill. And you just want to get your boots and your claw out, and he's gonna come out of that guaranteed because we manipulated it to be that way. Okay, and then we got our combo. And then I just equipped my ball and chain again over boots just to get it my boots off quick, and then also I used ball and chain for this segment here just to hit this totem pole and knock him down quick, and then also for Blizzetta because Blizzetta is required actually to have the ball and chain. Okay, I'm just gonna get a heart of mine as well while we're waiting for him to come down. Blizzetta is a little bit tricky just because you're on ice, so sometimes it's easy to slip away from Zant and not get the combo off when he's going small. You kind of want to just pick a good time to hit him. Like, you can't hit him too early because he'll bounce off of you. But you also don't want to go like too late because he only has a certain time limit of when he's going to be small. So here's probably a good time. Perfect. And then we're going to go into his final phase. So he finally doesn't copy a boss, he does his own thing for the final phase. So we're going to try to hit him, and then we're going to combo him again. And then just a spin attack. And if you get it just like that, you're going to be able to quickly finish him off. And he's very mad. Temper tantrum. And we're gonna go straight into Hyrule. And of course we're not saving. Because saving loses time. So for this we're gonna transform right into Wolf again. We need to be Wolf anyways to transform, but also just quicker. And as a quicker animation too, because if you're human there, she'll like come out as a shadow to talk to you. So, oh my goodness, I keep messing this up. Enter and skip. There we go. So we're just gonna, yeah, transport right to Castletown. We have no need for anything else in the game now. It's just gonna be Ganon's castle. Oh, what happened? Oh my gosh, I thought we crashed the game, not gonna lie. We can do something when we go on this bridge though, called like a mailman skip. So we can do a long jump attack just to the side of the bridge here. We get to like the third little post, and then you just do a small jump attack, and you can just skip over the mailman's trigger. Because he'll come talk to you again, and you just don't want to do that. You can also skip him at the start of the game, because you've seen that I got the trigger. You can skip him as well if that's something you prefer. I also don't know why I'm Wolf right now. I'm not supposed to be. I'm scaring everybody. Poor lads. It's also much quicker to be human in Castletown. That's like the only exception, I feel like, to the rule. Oh my gosh, they're like so mad at me. But this is the Squidna cutscene. This is like the iconic, long, very long cutscene in the game. But it gives you some downtime before you have to do the last segment of the game. This is also Midna's best form. She's getting thrown around. Best Midna ever. She's going in. So after Squidna has a boss battle with the barrier, you're able to go in. Totally unskippable, by the way. And then Link and Midna have a little, like, moment there. Then we just push ourselves in and we're in Hyrule, so this will be the very last dungeon. I do need to equip, see I have 2 bombs, so that's ideal. I mean, it's more ideal to have more, but you need at least 2 to be ideal here. This barrier skip is very easy. Well, it's not really a skip, but it's, you just put a bomb down and you can kill everyone at one time. And there you go. And then this is our first barrier skip. You just want to roll kind of to the side and skip the cutscene very quickly. And then roll out. That way you're not gonna get stuck in the barrier. And then all these guys are very unhappy about it. And this is what I was talking about with KB4. This is the last time that you're gonna fight King Bulblin. You also have to be very careful with this fight as well, because he will do you 4 hearts of damage if you're not careful and get hit by him. So it's basically an instant game over. So I'll backflip, make sure I don't get hit. And then you can just go in for the last kill, or the last swing. And he'll actually talk to you, and he'll say that you're strong. and he gives you the key for the door, which is very useful. And then we just want to save warp. It's just quicker than running back, especially with the barrier there. And that'll be our last save warp of the game. And then we're free to go right into the castle. Very small key. Okay. And then this is another barrier skip. Oh my gosh, that I did not complete. If you fail the barrier 3 skip, it's quicker to save warp. To be honest, you could probably just reset, but at least if you save warp, the door will already be unlocked for you. I just didn't skip the cutscene fast enough. You have to like spam it and then just jump a little bit to the right. Yeah. And then you just go on these. Chandelier is very like same as casual strats. And then I just get the ball and chain out because, as I was saying before, it's easier to kill the Dark Knight with the ball and chain. Just like a little bit faster. So I'm going to start with a roll stab. And then we're going to get him 5 times. He needs to run around. And get him a few more times. Oh, I didn't quite do that right. No. Okay. And then he's going to throw his sword. And then you can get him with the ball and chain if you do it right. You want to try to get it like as close as you can with the ball and chain to get it. Then we'll just wait for the chest. And then this is our last lantern puzzle. We do need the lantern for quite a bit in the run. You just have to get the torches in the right order in order for... Because if you get them in the wrong order, it'll just like extinguish. So this is the last use for the bombs in Hyrule Castle. I can try to blow these guys up at the same time by throwing the bomb at a good time. There, perfect. So that was a good timing. You kind of want to wait for the bomb to almost be going off, but not quite enough to like explode. So then they can just look at it and then it will blow up in their face. Okay, and then this is our Aurelphos fight. This one we're not skipping. We gotta fight him. There's a way to parry him and get the last combo off like this. Nice and quick and easy. And then we gotta go have some friends. Because it's important to have friends in life. And here comes our friends. They're gonna save us. It's really all about the friends that you definitely met in the run, that you definitely know all of their names, and you definitely spent a good quality amount of time with them, you know? You definitely didn't just run past them, mash through texts, and not even see half of them. Look at them all. They're so excited to see us. The little head nod. But that is how we get our boss key. So now that we have our boss key, we're able to go straight to Ganon. We're gonna do our final tower climb. Starting with the block room, as we call it. Casually, you'd have to be Wolf here, and you'd have to look at where the ghosts are pointing in order to not go where the blocks might fall. But luckily, we can just quickly jump across all the gaps here and go fly right through it. And then kill these guys. And then we just need some good aiming for this part. Notice how we need the double claws for basically all the dungeon after we get them, like all the rest of the game, after we retrieve them. Good. And then we do need the spinner for this portion as well. I just wait for that guy to start, the last spinner to start coming down, and then I know I'm safe to go. You can skip this last Darknut fight if you just kind of scoot up a little bit, and then you can claw shot this, and you don't need to. You can get in behind the barrier. You don't have to fight him. Alright, and then it's the final Ganon fight. Now, with the final Ganon fight, there is an infamous RNG portion of this one, which is the Puppet Zelda fight. Unfortunately, she can really mess your day up, especially if you're a top runner. Like, I believe Nimzo even got, you know, messed up. He might have had even like a 245, but because he had such a bad Zelda, it ended up just like, well, I mean, it's still a great time, but he did lose a lot of time to Zelda because it's so RNG. You gotta wait for her to give you 3 balls, and she can do a dive attack, and she can do we call it a Dorito attack, where she gives you just a triangle on the floor. So, okay, she's so far so good. We're getting a ball. There is also an opportunity to crash the game. I guess I'll tell you guys that while we're waiting. There's an opportunity to crash the game at the end if you see her text, like the Puppet Zelda text. Oh my god, I gotta go over there. Oh my god, that was so close to not happening. I was not expecting her to be so nice to me. But if you see her Puppet Zelda text and you open up your item wheel, you can actually crash the game. So you gotta be really careful at this part not to do that. It's definitely not like over 3 hours in, you don't want to crash at that point. Oh, come on, Zelda. Give me your last ball. So as you see, you have to like wait quite a while for her to cooperate with you. I think the best you can get is like 8 cycles. That wasn't too bad. I think I got like 8 to 10 cycles on that. And then I throw my ball. Oh, I missed him. Okay, well, that's not very good. That's fine. So usually you want to like attack him there, obviously, with your ball and chain to knock him down. But since I missed, I'm just gonna have to wait for his portals. And you're gonna want to start him off with your human form. You want to do hold on, sorry. Yeah, you want to do 4 normal slashes and then a 4 attack combo. So even there I did mess it up a little bit because I did a 3 attack combo. But it's 4 slashes and a 4 attack combo you want to get. And if you do 2 of those perfectly, at the very end, like the 3rd time that you get him, you can just use Wolf Link and hit him once and you'll be dead. But since I did mess up that first combo, I'll have to do him as human and do a combo again on him. So it's going to be 2 more human combos before he's dead. So there, what I did there, that's what you're supposed to do. And if you get him to, if you do like the combos properly, you'll also get a fast portal here. So if you mess up one of the combos, basically what will happen is you'll have a slow portal like that, and then you'll also have to be human. So just a couple things you have to change. I also love how the music is like email, email me, email, email me. So that's the Beast Ganon dead. So we just have 2 more things, or 2 more fight sequences to get through. So we have to get through the horseback, so we get Epona back. And then we are going to do the sword fight with Ganon. So we'll skip this. And we're also on a horseback with Zelda, so that's a vibe. You want to try to get close to him so he attacks you and doesn't quite hit you. Just to get his attack out of the way, and then he'll calm down and you can follow him. Because he can, if you mess up the first part, it's kind of RNG of like where he's going to go, like how he's going to hit you. But you want to just try to keep that setup pretty consistent. Oh wait, why is my sword not out? Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. So you don't want that to happen either. It's fine though. Also, you can't even like blame Zelda for like if you miss Ganon, because oh, I didn't mean to use all those. Oops. Basically, where you're pointing Epona is where you're gonna aim. So you can't blame Zelda if you miss Ganon. And you have to be targeting him in order for her to start trying to shoot. Okay, one more. Okay, and then we're gonna do our final fight with Ganon. And then we hear all about Ganon's desires. Would you hear my desire to be emo? My god. Terrible. Dark Lord Ganondorf. So you just want to give him a slash, and then you can do your quick spins. You just wait for him to kick his foot out. You don't want to do it too fast because then it won't register. And then one more. Oh, see, now I'm messing up. There. And then we can... Oh. get all our fancy gadgets out for the end. And I'll actually show you guys, because Link does not skip leg day at the end of this. I also forgot to end my timer. Oops. 319. That was a pretty good run. I mean, a lot went abnormally wrong for me, because I usually, my PP is like a 309. But I just wanted to show you guys the game, and I hope that you enjoyed it, just seeing all the different glitches and sequence breaks. I think it is very fun, and I would highly recommend learning it as well. We have a really great community on the Discord. Like a lot of people will help you, and not a lot of people are very judgmental or elitist or anything like that in our community. So yeah, definitely give it a try if you want to. I love the ending of this game. It's so like dramatic. And Zant dies, and he dies. Yeah, I'll just show you the iron boots before we go. He's vibing with the iron boots on. And we can see Minna in her true form. All our spirits. He does not skip leg day. Say that much. Clank, 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 clank. Full sprint. And oh my god, the end of the game is actually so sad though when she like breaks the mirror. Oh my god. So like why couldn't you stay? It's so mean. It was the real the OG long distance relationship when she left into the twilight. All right, well we'll end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you did enjoy it. There's a lot of really cool tricks and routing involved. I'll see you later. Thank you so much.